Today I visit with Skye Alexander on her role as the president of the Friends of the Kerrville Public Library. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. Welcome back for another episode of the award-winning Hill Country Podcast. As always, joined by Andrew Gay as our sound engineer, and we are thrilled today to welcome Skye Alexander. Skye, first of all, welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thank you for having me on.
Skye, our listeners know you as the author of the Lizzie Crane mystery novel series, but today we're going to talk to you about a different hat you wear, and that's the Friends of the Library. Could you tell us what that role is and how you became involved with the Kerrville Library?
Yes, I'm the president of the Friends of the Library, Bud Holdsworth Memorial Library, and I've been on the board and volunteered there for about 8 years now. I was invited to come on by a fellow writer who was involved with the library, and she asked me to get involved, and I just loved it. Books are my life anyway, so it was a logical place. I wanted to be involved in my community more, and I wanted to do volunteer work, so this was a perfect fit for me.
What is the Friends of the Library?
The Friends of the Library is an international organization. It's been in this country, I think, since 1922, and the local Friends have been in operation for 70 years, the ones here in Kerrville. And what we do is raise money to support the library's needs, whatever those may be. That can be programs, it can be infrastructure, it can be security systems. We buy books for them, all kinds of things, whatever they need that we judge to be within our budget and within our mandate. And so that's really what we have been doing lately, is funding a lot of the programs that the library needed and wasn't able to get money from other places such as the city.
How do you raise funds for the library?
We do it mostly through memberships and through book sales. People like yourself give us donations, and we have a wonderful bookstore that yours are the best books we have in our bookstore. And it's open every Wednesday from 1 to 3 and the second Saturday of every month from 10 to 4. And we have about 30,000 books, and we welcome people to come and join us and visit, browse, hopefully buy books to raise money to support the library.
Now, when you say a bookstore in the basement of a library, many people think that sounds nice. I'm going to go in and see a few different titles of books nobody wants. Nothing could be further from the truth.
That's correct.
About the bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the bookstore, where you can get literally everything from a graphic novel to a first edition George Orwell edition of 1984 and everything in between.
That's pretty much true. We have children's books, we have classics, we have cookbooks, we have art books, we have Texas history books, all kinds of novels. The biggest section is the mystery section. And pretty much anything that anybody is looking for. That doesn't mean we will have a book that somebody's looking for on any given day, because we don't know what's coming in. They're all donated to us by people like yourself, or they have been retired from the library.
So in Texas, we always talk about money. So I'm going to talk about prices.
You're going to talk about what?
Prices.
Oh, okay.
And the bookstore. And to say they're competitive belies the word competitive.
Yeah.
You've got not first edition, but you've got hardback James Patterson, Alex Cross novels for 50 cents, up to my first edition Orwell, which was the stunning price of $100.
Mm-hmm.
And the prices are just frankly beyond belief. How can you raise money at the prices that I see in that bookstore?
First of all, we don't pay anything for the books that we get. They're, as I said, they're all donated or retired from the library, and we don't pay our staff. We don't have to pay for the space that we occupy. I think we pay $1 a year or something like that. So we don't really have any overhead. And that enables us to offer the books to the public at a very reasonable price. We're thinking about going up 50 cents on a book this year, because right now a paperback like mine would cost $1.50, and the hardbacks are $2.50, and we're tired of dealing with change.
That's a great point. Let's talk about the volunteers.
Okay.
Because I tend to come on Saturday with my wife, so we can both enjoy the bookstore and pick up some books. And I tend to see the same people most weekends.
That's correct.
So talk about the volunteer staff.
I think we have 22 people who are volunteer staff. And usually on Saturdays, you're right, it's about the same 8 people who come every Saturday. And that's for various reasons. Some of them have religious preferences that they don't work on Saturdays. Some have family responsibilities. Some just don't want to work on Saturdays. So you're right. It's usually me and the bookstore manager, and some of the other board members are usually there on Saturdays.
You also have, I'm not sure I would call it special collections, but nicer books.
Mhm.
Tell us about some of those. Don't talk about mine.
Okay, I won't talk about yours. We try, first of all, to only have good quality books. That some of them do come in sets. We'll get donations of a whole collection that somebody has, but we don't have anything that's got torn covers or dog-eared pages or anything that's marked up or damaged in any way. Some people do donate books that their dogs have chewed on. We throw them out. We recycle them, throw them out. But we really do want to make sure that what we are offering to the public is of quality. And most of the people who donate to us donate good quality books too.
So I moved to Kerrville from Houston, and I was fortunate to go to one bookstore for about 38 years.
Mm.
And I learned there pretty quickly there's bookstore people.
Mhm.
Are there bookstore people in Kerrville that you see on a regular basis?
Yes, we have quite a few people who come every single Wednesday. We have some who come regularly on Saturdays, and then it's a real mixed bag. We have dealers also who come. They mostly come on Saturdays because they're coming from Houston or San Antonio or Austin, and they want to spend several hours. We're only open Wednesday for 2 hours at a time. But yes, we do have a very loyal clientele.
The lack of a formal bookstore in Kerrville, I think, probably lends itself to that. Would that be fair?
That we have what?
The lack
Of a good bookstore in
right.
Kerrville? Yeah. That is in my opinion, as an author and a reader, is a big deficit.
As a bookstore person, I would certainly echo that. If our listeners wanted more information on the Friends of the Library, to make a donation, or even how would they donate a book, where can you direct them to, Skye?
It's best if they donate, if they come in and on Wednesday afternoon when we're open, or on Saturday. Don't just leave them on the loading dock, because that's where we put the books that are not in good condition, that anybody who wants to take them can take them. So we prefer that people come in during our regular business hours. The library upstairs does not have the capabilities to really receive books in large quantities for us. They don't have the room or the person power, although they do have a shelf that they sell books from our bookstore right at the collection desk, at the checkout desk. But it is best if they come in when we're there, and then we can help them unload the books. If they need a receipt for their tax purposes, we are a nonprofit, so we can give them a receipt at that time. And hopefully they'll shop around, because they've just unloaded a whole lot of stuff and they've got space on their shelves.
Where are you physically in the library?
We are on the ground level. It's called level 1. There's a big meeting room down there. You have to go around the back of the library to get in, or you can come through the library and take the elevator down to the first floor.
Do you have a website presence or other place if someone wanted to make an online donation they could go to?
I don't think yet. We have hired, or she's a volunteer also, a young person who is knowledgeable in these things, because most of us are retiree or close to that age, and we don't really have that process. But she's going to design a website for us, and she's getting us on social media and various things like that. And they're also putting together things called book bundles. Do you know what those are?
No.
I didn't either. Where people can have us specially pick books for them and have a box of, say, 5 or 6 books. And they will then be able to pay in advance and pick them up at the library upstairs, so that if they can't get there during our open hours, then they can still get books from us.
Well, Skye, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to visit with us about the Friends of the Library.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the publicity.
This is Tom Fox again. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the award-winning Hill Country Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, I hope you'll subscribe, rate, and review wherever great podcasts are listened to. I also hope you will check out the book sale at the Friends of the Library. If you're in Kerrville or Kerr County, it's in the basement of the Butt Holdsworth Memorial Library. The Hill Country Podcast is a production of the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network.